Hello and welcome to another edition of our new SVG Sponsor Spotlight. Christian Hernandez here, Senior Editor of Sports Video Group. Really pleased to be joined by a new platinum sponsor to the SVG family. It's Aggreko, and we are pleased to be joined by Don Gray. He's the Sector Manager of Events in the continent of North America. Don, how you doing, sir? How's your day?
Doing very well, Christian. Thank you.
I appreciate your support, number one, and appreciate you taking some time out of your busy schedule to join us on the show. Obviously, Aggreko does a lot, but let's take a couple steps back. If someone's watching this and they're not sure who Aggreko is and what they do for the industry, especially on the sports side, what are some of the solutions and projects and things that you guys have been working on?
Recently in North America, we've been very active in the racing circuits. We've done several of those races. We've been active in the large stadium events that take place across the United States, supporting them. We have made a new surge to focus on those events and the sustainability and help our customers do a better job of that.
For sure. Obviously, it's one of the topics we'll get into in just a bit. But you mentioned some of those events, the racing circuit, right? There's no bigger, I guess, racing series, racing circuits in at least in this continent right now than Formula One, right? And the recent Miami Grand Prix that just happened this past weekend on recording, and also the Formula E series. That's Formula One's initiative to kind of make sure that those cars are electric and doing what they can to make sure that they're racing in a proper manner. But I guess talk to me about the Grand Prix. How'd that go, and what are the services that you guys provided on that end?
We were the full service provider for electrical and HVAC for the race. We provided the power for the broadcast. We do the international broadcast, which requires a lot of 50 hertz power. We also provided all the overlay. So we had deployed 33 megawatts of power at the Hard Rock Stadium. With that, we had approximately 30 technicians, and we have a design team that works in that continually, and we'll be working on it 12 months of the year to help improve that process.
Sure. Okay. And obviously, you guys are no stranger to football venues. You guys were also at the Super Bowl in Las Vegas a couple months ago, right? The Super Bowl was in February, but I feel like NFL is a year-long sport. So, talk to us about the work that you guys did there and how you guys helped the broadcaster kind of make sure that one went smoothly, despite all the challenges that comes with a live event production like the Super Bowl.
We were responsible for the off-site broadcast at the Bellagio Hotel. We worked with our customer to design a system that brought them sustainability and also brought them reliability.
Sure.
There were a couple instances where we had to get with our engineers to do some unique designs. The Bellagio fountains had a beautiful sign out in the middle of it. There's no power that can be seen going to that because we have experience working with boat shows where we have some underwater capabilities. And we utilize that to power that sign for them so that it was not distracted by having something out there on a barge next to it. And overall, it was a very successful event. We were very proud to be part of it and very thankful to have been chosen.
Looked amazing for those on site and for those watching on TV. So congrats on a great job on all those events. We've waited long enough to talk about sustainability. Obviously, it's something as the years go on. Unfortunately, it's something that people have to worry about. And live event production in the sports side of things is something that's very costly, and carbon emissions are unfortunately very high. But you guys are there to help out with minimizing that, reducing that, and making sure that footprints are as minimal as possible. So talk about, I guess, the research that's going into it, what your stance is on, trying to eliminate, wastefulness or whatnot, and make sure that we're kind of doing it with while being environmentally conscious.
The very first step we take with our customers is right sizing. Historically, bigger meant better in the generator business. You were given more power, so therefore you had reliability. With sustainability becoming an issue, we right size the generators, and then we will often put a standby generator next to it that is put in power on demand. And that way, if the first generator has any influx, we will take and automatically start that unit and take over the load and notify the technicians through our remote monitoring to go and check that generator. All that is done electronically. We have a system we call Aggreko remote monitoring in New Iberia. There's a staff of people 24 hours a day, 365 days of the year monitoring all our generators across North America.
Right.
Once we get that sizing done, we will work with them to see if we can use utility power. Anywhere we can, we're going to take advantage of the sources that are available to the stadium or facility we're at. Then we'll install UPS in between, and that will become the primary source. Generator will only be started automatically once it is notified that there's a problem with the utility. The last step we're very focused on is battery. There are a lot of situations where at airtime only, there is a surge in power.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, we will be very minimal power. And we can often design a battery solution that will allow us to take advantage of that situation and stop us from having to burn fuel and create a bigger carbon footprint.
Right. And one question that I just thought of just right now, but this might be an easy question because obviously, oh, if you go to a hotter place, you're going to need more, AC units, which kind of makes it more powerful. But when you go to a race that's in Miami, right, it's a hotter climate, things need to be cooled. But then when you go to a cooler climate for, I don't know, an NFC Championship game, that maybe a Green Bay, what have you, uh, how is it making sure that I guess those solutions are adaptable depending on what location you're at, because not one everything doesn't fit one size, right? Depends on where you are. So how do you make sure that things are a bit easier when you go to the hotter regions, and maybe you can use the weather to advantages when you're in a colder spot?
Yeah, it's very simple, really. We have a set of technical specialists that work with the sales team, and we'll go do site surveys, monitor the situation, check the weather.
Mm-hmm.
From that data, we will send that over to our electrical engineers, who will then size the job to what we believe will be the correct situation and present those solutions to the client. The real key is to take the real time, real life experience into effect. For years, as everyone knows, the broadcast industry, a truck was 400 amps, no questions asked. When you land in Green Bay, Wisconsin in the middle of the winter, you're going to need 400 amps because they have to heat it.
Sure.
When you land in Green Bay, Wisconsin in August, you're probably only going to run about 200 amps. Heat
Right.
isn't needed. And all the trucks have those abilities for us to monitor that, work with them. So we have to get very close to the tech managers, have a great understanding with the engineers at all the networks, and collaborate on the information, because the only way to do it is as a team.
Right. Now, Don, is there any other challenges that you're seeing in the industry, whether it relates to sustainability or any other things that it might be a bugaboo that Aggreko is trying to solve or just kind of monitor as time goes on?
Space. All compounds for TV trucks are getting more crowded.
Mm-hmm.
There are more things trucks are required to do as technology and the end consumer wants to see glitz and glamour on the screen. So we have spent a lot of time with our UPSs making them modular. Example would be we recently did a job in Phoenix where all the UPSs were able to be tucked in corners completely out of the way, opening up, I'm going to say 20 to 30 feet extra in front of every truck, allowing them to have more chances to let buses come in and turn around, do things. It also then reduces cable runs, which reduces the amount needed to do labor wise.
Sure.
So modular UPSs are very critical.
Right. So figuring out congestion, it's like it's a game of rush hour, right? At some points, but what you guys do or what you work with your partners, you're trying to alleviate the stress on the pipeline as possible. One last question for you, Don, before I let you go. As the time of recording, it's beginning or the middle of May, so you have a couple more months to work with in 2024. Any upcoming projects that you want to highlight? Any upcoming just work in the sustainability front that you want to highlight, or what's on the docket for the rest of 2024 for Aggreko?
The biggest docket we have is we will be doing a lot of work with soccer throughout the summer. We also will be doing several stadiums for the fall productions and working with them. It is critical that we design those and continue to take our knowledge that we have and apply it. So this year, in fact, I just got off a meeting where we were discussing specific venues, what we can do unique to those venues and help with those venues to bring better solutions and help our end customer have a better product.
Sure. It's a lot of work, but you guys do really good work in terms of helping our planet and doing it in the right way. Don, first of all, thank you again for taking the time. Thank you for the support for SVG. Hope to meet you in person soon and have a good rest of your day.
All right.